starting around the year of 2015, the NBA came up with a new phenomenon, a new concept, if you will, the unicorn. Now, the technical definition of the unicorn is NBA players who are both versatile and dynamic. I got that from a simple Google search. But if you dig deeper, it's a lot more meaning to that. A unicorn is basically a player with unrealistic measurements and frame with unbelievable guard-like skills. Think Kristaps Porzingis, think Kevin Durant, think even somebody like a Nikola Jokic. These players who we've been getting a lot of recently. Back in, past years, the 90s, the 80s, 70s, 60s, even the early 2000s, players typically stuck to their roles. Now, you did have unicorns back in the day. You had players like Kevin Durant. You had players like Dirk Nowitzki. You had players like Ralph Sampson. These were players, were looked at like, oh my God. And a lot of the times, even back then, they kind of got pigeonholed into the wrong role. I'm not saying Kevin Garnett and Dirk Nowitzki did, because, teams started to warm up to using players to their strengths. But a lot of times in the 80s and the 70s, teams would, put players into roles that were traditionally not for them. Maybe, you have a 7-footer that can dribble. You would just put him in a position where he has to play back to the basket the whole game. Things of that nature. So this concept, especially now where we see this more perimeter-oriented game where players play 5 out, everybody's on the perimeter, everybody is able to handle, everybody's able to drive and kick and shoot, making these split decisions as big men. This is even starting to trickle down into the college game. As of right now, right this second, only 21 players, 21, are under 5'8" That means 21 players are shorter than 5'8". This is a tall man's league. If you don't have any height on you, you probably won't make it. Unless you're unbelievable as far as your work ethic and your predisposition to, overcoming obstacles, if you will. Like right now, we have this guy that everybody's talking about. I've talked about him a lot on this channel already. Victor Wembanyama. He's 7, who knows? 7'2", 7'3", 7'4", 7'5", who knows? He's all the rage. Everybody's anticipating his debut in the NBA. We've seen a lot of his games being broadcasted. The NBA is already broadcasting his games, and he's not even in the NBA yet. You know what I mean? So that's a different level of prospect right now. So if all of that, if you do all of that and then he doesn't become what we think he's going to become, it's going to be a major letdown. So it's an incredible amount of pressure on him. We seeing a new resurgence of a player like Lauri Markannen, who, before was just looked at as a tall shooter. He can do some things. I'm not saying he never had guard skills, but he has really been able to put his guard skills on full display this season because he's been slotted as a small forward for the Utah Jazz. He's able to, he's playing with other 7-footers. He's playing with Kelly Olynyk. He's able to be slotted next to Walker Kessler. So he's playing with some really tall players. So they're slotting him as a small forward, but he's able to play it because he's so fast. He has the ability to put the ball on the floor, and actually he's a good ball handler. And that just makes him extremely hard to guard, especially if you have a traditional size small forward guarding him. What can you do? You know what I mean? You can't really close out on him because he's so tall. But then he's able to keep up with the wings. He's able to beat the wings off the dribble. So that becomes way harder to guard. So this concept of the unicorn is becoming forever more present in the NBA, to the point where the NBA is almost getting overloaded with unicorn caliber talent. And we found another one. Yes, we found another one. Grant Nelson. Now, Grant Nelson is a 6'11" forward. He plays for North Dakota State. He's currently averaging 17 points at the moment, 8 rebounds, about 2 assists. Now, those numbers right away don't jump off the page, but if you watch his skill set and just watch what he's able to do, you have no choice but to get excited for what's to come in the future for him. The thing about him is he doesn't get as many shots. So I don't know what that could be. I haven't watched that team too closely, but I've seen a lot of his highlights, and he's capable. He's more than capable. He can do a lot of things with the ball in his hands. And maybe he just doesn't get the touches. Maybe he doesn't have the playmakers around him to give him the ball. Maybe he's not as demanding. Maybe he's not, you know, demanding the ball. Like, hey, give me the ball. I'm the superstar. I need to take over right now. And I think he really has that ability. But we'll have to see more of that in the future. So even with that, even if he's not able to really go in like we wanted to see him go in, because he has the ability to. Like, if you're a mismatch every time on the court, you can pretty much take advantage of that every time, and you can end up scoring 20, 25, 30, 35 points a game. So that's something that we need to keep our eye on. But if you look at all the top players in the league, LeBron James, Luka Doncic, Kevin Durant, Kristaps Porzingis, Nikola Jokic, anybody you can name. And I understand Kristaps Porzingis might not be, considered the top player in the league, but Giannis Antetokounmpo, Joel Embiid, we can keep going on. All of those players are these larger than life athletes who have these incredible guard like skills, who can put the ball on the floor, who can shoot, who can, handle the ball, pass the ball. They can do it all. And that's what makes you a unicorn. So he should be able to come in right away and do that same thing. But let's take a look at it. Let's see for ourselves, can he be able to do that? But before we do that, I'm going to need all of you guys to hit that like button so we can show up in the YouTube algorithm so this video can get out to more and more people. But without further ado, let's get into it. Look at that. He got the float. He has the spin, the hook. Oh my God. Come on, man. Oh, yeah. Ooh, come here. And that's the thing right there. So let's go back to that right quick. So right here, most unicorns, and he can shoot it. I'm not saying he can't shoot because I've seen footage of him being able to knock it down. But somebody like a Kevin Durant or Victor Wembanyama, they would have been able to pull up right there. And I've noticed his 3-point shot is kind of spotty because I think he's shooting in the 20%. So it's like 26% or something like that. And as somebody, if we're gonna classify him as a unicorn, he has to get better. I named Kristaps Porzingis. I named Nikola Jokic. I named Joel Embiid. I named Lauri Markanen. All of these guys will be able to hit that shot. So and I'm not knocking him. That's not a knock on his game. I think he will be able to do that. But he has to keep the defense honest. He can't have, like, his man right here is kind of playing back on him. He has to punish that. And I think that could contribute. See, he has the handles. He can get to the hole or whatnot like that. But that contributes to him not scoring at the rates that we want to see him scoring at. He kind of has a Kevin McHale like game too, especially like around that in that hole, around the paint with all those fakes, those step throughs, up and unders, hooks. Like, that's a really nice component to his game. Good block. See, he has the 3-point shot. Like, I know he has that shot. It's just being able to punish defenders when they backing up like that. Yeah, that man. Not knowing where the ball was at. Look at that. Oh my God. His handle is lethal. Incredible handle. At that height, come on. Nice length. Can contest your shot. Can get some blocks. Now he will have to get stronger because they bumping him around. Like, he's getting bumped all around, and he has to be able to keep his balance, keep his composure. Good shot. And that's another thing. He needs to, especially if you're gonna be bringing the ball. Ooh, good. That was nice. His spin, like you could tell, that's his go-to. But my point was like, since he's gonna be bringing the ball up the court, he's gonna have to be able to distribute the ball as well, like a Nikola Jokic or like a LeBron or Kevin Durant, Luca. I'm not saying to that effect, to that level, but he just needs to be able to get more than like 2 assists. If you're gonna have the ball in your hands that much, bringing it up the court as a big man, you got to be able to find your open teammates because they're gonna, pressure you like this. Look at this. Oh my God. See, but that's another thing. Like if you're gonna pressure him like that, but yeah, if you're gonna pressure him like that, you need to watch that back line because you have your back line defense guarding him, so nobody's you know in the help spot in the rotation. So, but that's my point though. Like he's gonna have to be able to distribute the ball because a lot of times people will step over and try to set a charge or whatnot. You're gonna have to be able to find that man, especially if you're going at that speed. I would like to see him be able to change speeds a lot better, especially if you're gonna be creating out the dribble with your handle. He has a nice handle. Don't get me wrong, but just his ability to slow up, just the ability to punish his defender when they back up too far. You need to be able to pull up and knock it down right away. Those are just the little things that I think he would need just to be able to, get his scoring up. 17 points, like as a unicorn, as somebody who we feel is a unicorn, who we feel can really be something special. He has to be able to do that. He has to be able to punch his defenders at every chance. That's the purpose of being a mismatch, being able to punish your defender at every turn. But that's it for this video, guys. Thanks as always for watching. We recently reached 300 subscribers. I can't thank you guys enough for that. Let's get it to 500. This is a channel to give exposure to the underdog. This is a channel to give exposure to players who are lesser known, who don't really get that much shine and spotlight on them. And even if you guys that play basketball yourselves, whenever you guys need an opportunity to showcase your talent, I will lend my platform to you guys as well. If that sounds good to you, give us a like, give us a subscribe, and share this with anybody else you think this could be beneficial towards. Without further ado, thanks for watching.